unlike XFCE's 2 versions away for Wayland. It's just how long those 2 versions away.
I wouldn't hate on XFCE.
I don't
Yeah,
hate
yeah,
on XFCE. They don't. It's just they are a fairly small desktop environment at this point, and it's taking
so is
them.
Budgie.
That's fair. No, that's fair. Okay.
I mean, how long has like this like mythical Budgie 11 been in development, right?
Fair
Like,
point. Fair point.
I don't know about like 6,000 years if I had to guess. Uh, uh, the project that we should be concerned about is Mate, because we have seen basically no movement, no recent movement, anyways, on a Wayland compositor in Marco. We saw a very short stint where they were trying out Mir, but yes, they have ported over some of their applications to support Wayland, but they're not exactly moving that quick. Whereas the XFCE folks, I mean, as a testament to the direction that they're going, even Budgie Desktop for Budgie 10 series is actually going to be leveraging one of their libraries, which is libxfce for windowing, because it provides a similar API to like WNCK. And on the X11 side, it actually uses WNCK, but also supports Wayland. So we're able to sort of leverage that instead of WNCK directly in order to actually introduce Wayland support in a lot of the code that we had previously used WNCK for. So, so I like the XFCE people.
Oh no, I've not spoken to any of them myself. I'm sure they're all lovely people. I just don't know how. Like, I hope they get the Wayland stuff sorted out. That's what I'll say. I really do, because as you said before, like, the writing is on the wall. This is the direction we are going.
Yeah.
X is still going to be here for a while, but we are going to start.
Is it though?
Look, there are people running 10-year-old ThinkPads. It's going to be here for a while.
But if you can't even get it in the repositories at some point,
I think
then you're going to have to even be compiling all the X stack in Xorg server from scratch.
That's true
as well.
But there are going to be I don't see Arch dropping it anytime soon. I don't like Gen 2 is gonna have it until it stops compiling.
Yeah, probably Gen 2 and Slackware and
like it's going to be on distros that it's. I would not be surprised if in the very short future we don't see it on Ubuntu, we don't see it on Fedora, we don't see it on like these very mainstream, especially Fedora. Like, they've already got the whole KDE thing going down that direction. Nothing's confirmed, but Neil does not want to even touch X11 anymore, so I can't see that not happening. And the second that... The way I see it going, the second that GNOME announces that they're dropping X11, X11 is gone from Fedora. There is no X11 on Fedora anymore. Maybe one more version after that, but...
I don't see that happening. I think we will at some point see it be deprecated. But they would be basically nuking i3 and Mate and Cinnamon and Budgie. I mean, why would they have accepted this fancy Budgie thing only to then be like, yo, you guys got to nuke it like immediately?
What I'm curious about, because there's a whole Red Hat dropping support for when's that supposed to be happening? I don't remember.
It's not rel 9 or 10. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I saw the Red Hat dropping Xorg. It's in their docs somewhere.
Yeah, I remember.
Rel 10 5 years away. That's going to be an interesting point, because 5 years from now, like, think about where Wayland was 5 years ago. OBS didn't work. There was no video capture on Wayland.
That's pretty recent.
Yeah, I think it was, I want to say 2 years ago, something like that.
Yeah.
The past couple of years have been crazy for improving Wayland.
Yeah, and by then Budgie 11 will actually be out. That I can commit to. 5 years from now, you will have a Budgie 11 at the very least.
You sure you want to commit to that?
Because I think so. I don't think we're gonna have 5 other toolkit switches before then. So yeah. And at the very least, Budgie 10 will be on Wayland. So
okay.
God forbid.
What is the state of Wayland for you guys? Like, what do you? I'm sure there's still a lot to work on, but like, what's done? What's being worked on right now? Is anything done?
Yeah. So there's nothing done. So the two things that are currently work in progress is the Wayland based compositor. So Magpie V1. So Campbell Jones, aka Sarabit, has been spearheading the efforts on that. I would like to give you a list of all the Wayland protocols he's already implemented, but it changes like practically every day or every few days. So I've lost track. But how convenient that he actually
made Waycheck.
He open sourced. He wrote a tool called Waycheck as a personal project, and you could actually install it. And if you use Wayland, you could see the protocols that your compositor supports, which is kind of cool. But he has been just absolutely kicking ass, I'll say, on the Wayland compositor approach. And then Evan has been working on the libXFCE for windowing implementation, so replacing our WNCK code with it. And just the other day, he pushed a Git branch with some like very early work in progress stuff of a new icon task list with us leveraging libXFCE for windowing instead of WNCK. So there's still a lot to be done. For example, our panel management needs to be converted. We have to get all of our keyboard input stuff implemented. We got to get exclusion zones implemented, so that way, like, your apps, when you maximize them, won't then like overlap with the panel. Like, there's still a lot of work to be done. But I'm quite happy with the work that is being done on that front. And just yesterday, we released Budgie 10.8.1 as a bug fix release. So our focus now is on 10.9. And that should hopefully, I don't want to commit to anything, but at least we'll start seeing some Wayland code approach on that, or at the very least, maybe some early work being finalized on ITL or icon task list. So there's that. And then something I've been working on is something that's going to be leveraged in Budgie 11, but I'm already working on some code related to that, which is our Budgie desktop or Budgie settings daemon. So a complete rewrite. At the moment, I'm writing in Rust, and I am using Tonic, which is a gRPC implementation and protobuf stuff. So all of our internal communication, and actually technically external, because you could just import the protocol buffer specifications, all that is going to be over protobuf to a centralized daemon. So Budgie panel, that's going to communicate with the daemon. Magpie, going to communicate with the daemon. The control center will communicate with the daemon. All of your configuration will be done through the daemon. So that's being worked on at the moment. So, lots of good stuff.
Sounds like there's a lot of work to do.
It is a lot of work, and that is even getting into the fact that we also need a XCG desktop portal. For Budgie as well, because the WLR one won't fit our needs, unfortunately.
Look.
So
the WLR one won't fit anyone's needs, to be honest.
No. It's like a mountain of work. It's like an iceberg where it's like, everybody sees like just this little bit. They don't see everything that's underneath the water. I would almost argue that the portal might be the biggest item. So Oro has actually provided an RFC for that on our discussions, and there's been some discussions around that. I probably don't need to explain who Oro is.
Why is Oro's one of my Discord mods?
Yeah.
Why is Oro and Neil seem to show up in every discussion get involved in?
Yep. Well, it probably doesn't surprise you, and he discussed this where he's in our stand-ups every week. Neil is, so
of course he is.
So the KDE stuff came to be no surprise to me. But